Hello and welcome to another brand new video, this time in Le-Castellet, France. And without further ado, let's get it started. As usual, starting my lap in itself, the fastest lap that I will have in this session. As you can see the time there, I only have 2 minutes 38 seconds around there. So all my previous attempts was invalidated because this circuit in Le-Castellet, it's very easy to go out of bounds. So now you're braking into 4th gear, taking this turn here, keeping in 4th, going into 5th gear. Here it's really easy to spin there, so you need to be careful. Then coming here into the 50-meter board, just before that you want to brake into 4th gear and here into 3rd gear, having a little bit more rotation, then braking hard here into 2nd gear, so to have a little bit more rotation. Then going through these areas, so really gingerly pressing the throttle. As you can see there, I'm not even in full throttle at this point, and then now you want to have full throttle, keeping into the bounce there. As you can see, I was really close into invalidating again. But now going into sector 1, I'm currently in purple, so that means I'm the fastest. So braking hard at the 100-meter board there, going really carefully not to invalidate. Here you can see I missed the apex a little bit, so I needed to turn in a little bit more, so losing a bit of time. So now coming into the second straight here, going in full 8th gear. So now you send it here basically in right, making sure that you don't invalidate. Again, it's really easy to invalidate, as I've said many times already. Here going into 5th gear, going into this corner here, again just about kept it in the track. And now braking hard into 3rd gear, so you have a bit more rotation. I missed the apex there a little bit, so you can see I went a bit more wide than I would have used, but still fine so far. So here now braking really hard again into 4th gear and going into this corner here, and now you want to brake really hard into 2nd gear to take this corner. It's again really easy to understeer over there. So now just going into the line and finishing the lap in itself in a 140.2. So the 141.2 was enough to give me 3rd position, starting in 2nd row with a 0.4 away from the 1st place guy. So just like the qualifying, the race would be fully wet, so it's intermediate wet, but of course still wet enough. So I would be in inters with 1 stop and a 0.2 laps worth of extra fuel. So now starting the race in itself, so 5 lights and away we go. So a fast light change there. So here I had a relatively good start, I would say, so going away from the other guys there, and I'm really going now head to head there. As you can see, the McLaren didn't have anywhere to go, so I went in the inside there and I managed to get him there in the corner. And now almost challenging the Alpha Tauri there as well. Went really close there, but I had to just be in 2nd, so really good start already up to 2nd position. Here I went a little bit too deep, as you can see there, so I had to really go here deep again. It compromised my entry there, and here you can see the McLaren is almost in the side there. You can see that red arrow there, but yeah, so far so good. And the McLaren had a moment there, as you can see, he's dropping back now as well. And going through these corners, the car still a little bit squirmish, but I'm in 2nd position at the moment. So end of lap number 6, you can see here as I come into this corner, I had a lot of wheel spin there and almost spin the car there, but managed to keep it in mind. But now the McLaren is right behind me. I'm using all of my DRS to make sure that he does not pass me in this straight. So I'm giving in enough room. I'm turning in here in the inside. I managed to keep him there, but he manages to go the other way around, and so he had a lot more traction and he was side by side with me here. And at this point in time I was just like letting him go, because clearly at this point Peter and Hazias there, the Alpha Tauri and the McLaren, was much faster than me in pace, so I eventually let them go and just continue with my race. So lap number 14, I'm coming into the pits now. So you can see here the pit limit is at 60 kilometers per hour. Usually most tracks are in 80 kilometers per hour. So a fun fact of this track here, because it's quite narrow, I guess that's why. And also this is one of the longest pit timing usually is quite long, or one of the longest I should say. And so here I basically come out back and I would join back the race in 3rd position, similar to when I came in. So coming into lap 18, so I would make my first critical error coming into this right hander. You can see I just lost it there. I was in 4th gear. I basically just had a moment and I lost the car there. So it's really easy to lose your car there, but I shouldn't have done it, of course. But yeah, really easy to do it, and I managed to hurt my front wing and I needed to enter the pits then. Lap number 20 here, you can see I take too much of curbs in the right there, now too much of curbs in the left there, so 2 warnings in 2 turns, and now another warning there again, and now coming into the same corner like just now, and I had the same moment again. So 4 corners with lot of mistakes, and here basically nothing happened, so I did not have to go to the pits or anything like this, so I still managed to continue the race. But as you can see now, I'm in 4th position already after coming out of the pits. And yeah, so just too many mistakes. And yeah, just like that, now coming into the final lap, or starting my final lap now. I just made my fastest lap there, as you can see. Quite a good fastest lap there, but just too many mistakes. So lessons for this race: first of all, I think I could have basically had a better rain setup. I only had like, I think, about 10 minutes just before the race to have another race setup from another car, and I did not actually have any time. As you can see there, the car really squirmish there. The setup was really not good there, so I really needed to have I need to have a better setup for the race, especially for wet. I had a really good dry setup. I even had a lot of practice in the dry, but I did not have any practice at all in the wet. As you can see, the race has already finished there on the McLaren. So this was really not a good race at all. I need to have more practice in the wet. That's definitely evident. Of course, as well, racing in the wet is one thing. I should basically reduce all of my errors. I had a lot of penalties in this race as well. As you can see, the car there really squirmish again. This is just basically due to setup. You need to have a better setup. I've already said this many times already, but it's that important, and that's why I did not have the pace at all to challenge the 1st and 2nd place guy. I think I could have finished in 3rd without my mistakes, because I was clearly faster than the Ferrari, but kudos to the Ferrari, he did not make any mistakes at all. So yeah, that's just how I lost the podium there. And now coming into the final section there, yeah, finishing my lap in 4th position. So yeah, as mentioned, I had about 9 seconds worth of penalty by all of my different excursions out of the track, and I would finish in 4th position overall. So in terms of the standings, I'm still in 2nd position behind the McLaren there, with about 19 points away from him. So I've been losing a lot of points in the past 3 races, but I managed to finish this race at least, so that's the good thing. So I managed to score some good points, because in the last race at least I did not even finish in the points, so I lost a lot of points there. I could have been much closer, but now you can see there's a gap of 19 points there. So some race analysis time. Yeah, so as you can see, lap 2 to lap 13, basically it was more or less steady. Then I had my first pit stop. That's where the first spike is there. Then I made my mistake in lap number 18, where I needed to make the extra pit stop. And yeah, basically from there, another mistake in lap number 20, as you saw just now in the video as well. That's why there was another mini spike there. But after that, I steadied myself and I managed to do even my fastest lap in the penultimate lap. In terms of position, so I started in 3rd position, but I quickly managed to go into 2nd position. So that was, I think, one of the better race starts that I had. So I managed to get past the McLaren. But from there onwards, I did not get to keep pace with the McLaren behind me, and I relinquished that position in lap number 7, as you saw in the video. Then all the way to lap number 17, when I had to make that extra pit stop after my problems, and that demoted me out of the podiums to 4th position. So just to look at the standings again, so I have cumulative of 78 points, and I'm in 2nd position at the moment. So yeah, so looking forward to the next race in Austria. I know I have a little bit of a good pace in Austria. It's a high speed circuit as well. Of course, I'm just hoping that it stays dry, but I definitely need to do more practice in the wet as well, so that is evident from this race in Le-Castellet. But that's basically it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.